In today's episode, we're doing a battle of the master builders. We've got two top-of-the-line Fender Masterbuilt Strats, one built by Dale Wilson and one built by Andy Hicks. The total price of both of these Strats comes in just under £20,000. So I won't hold you in suspense any longer, let's get straight into this Squealing Pig Guitars video. Hello guitarists, welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury strat machines here in Nottingham, England. My name is Keightley, and in today's episode we're comparing two Fender Masterbuilt guitars. These guitars really are the cream of the crop and are the best guitars that Fender are making. But in today's episode we're going to compare the two of them to see which one I prefer. But of course, here at Squealing Pig Guitars, our main mission is to find the best guitars in the world. So we'll be giving a rating for both of these guitars at the end to go on our squeal board. Without further ado, let's meet the contenders. Okay guitarists, let's open up the case. So guitar number one is a very beautiful Dale Wilson spruce Strat. You don't see spruce Strats all the time. As you can see, it's got a really cool aesthetic to it, and it's got these kind of deep ridges on the front and back of the guitar. Obviously that's just the wood spruce. I actually mentioned this guitar when I was demoing a Dale Wilson a couple of weeks ago, and this is that exact guitar. We're borrowing it off our friend Daniel. So this is guitar number one. Let's check out guitar number two. Now let's see guitar number two. This one is a special one. So inside we have a gorgeous 1960s Andy Hicks Masterbuilt Irish pub green Stratocaster. And if you guys know me personally, I have a bit of affinity with this color. I love green. I love color over color finishes, especially when it's so cleverly done like this, where the blue is kind of aged to this green. And of course, I love an Irish pub, and I love this guitar. I've got a very nice rosewood fingerboard on this one. It's a nice slab board with a maple neck. We've got a 3-ply kind of parchment guard, and this one has super jumbo frets on it. They're so big, and he rolls the fretboard edges so nicely on this guitar. These feel like speed bumps in comparison to the Dale Wilson. So a quick spec rundown, we basically have a spruce body on this one, a maple neck, and we have vintage style frets. They're the main differences between these two Strats. Obviously this is a 50, so you have a single ply guard, and it's got this kind of roasted flamed maple neck on it. This finish, Irish pub green, is basically simulating what would happen to a Lake Placid blue finish. It's a very unique finish. You don't see these around too often. So now let's take both of these guitars outside and do the daylight test. So guitarists, welcome to the tone comparison. In today's episode, I'm using my 2-rut Bloomfield drive on the lead gain channel. I'm going to be using the exact same setup for both of these guitars so you can hear the tonal differences. This part of the video is very simple. I'm basically going to go through each pickup position and cut back and forth between the two guitars so you can hear the differences. So let's hear the neck pickup. So guitarists, before we move on to the gig test, I just wanted to give you a few thoughts between the two guitars. So in terms of sound, I much prefer this spruce Dale Wilson. It's got a little bit more of a tapered high end. It's got a little bit more of an Eric Johnson tone, I'd say. Whereas the 60s, obviously, with it being 60s, it's going to be a little bit brighter. I thought this guitar sounded a lot better on the clean tones, and I really like the mid-range it has on the distortion tones. Very classic for a Strat. The 60s is, again, an incredible sounding guitar. I did find it to be a little bit ice picky on the bridge pickup. And personally speaking, I would use the tone controls a lot more. Obviously in this tone demonstration I couldn't because we had to keep the same tone for both guitars, but I'm sure you could taper that to make it sound better for you. But personally I'd want to roll off that tone control on the bridge pickup. That being said though, I much prefer the way that the Irish Pub Green guitar plays. The guitar has bigger frets on it, whereas this has the tiny little vintage frets, which are really hard to bend on, especially when you're doing 1.5 bends like I was doing in today's episode. So although this guitar sounds a little bit better in my opinion, I prefer the feel of the Irish Pub Green. But I just wanted to give you a few thoughts there before moving on to the gig test, so let's go there now. So guitarists, welcome to the gig test. If you're not familiar with this section of the video, basically we turn the 2-rock Bloomfield drive up to gig volume and we test the feedback, the overall tone, and finally the in the mix test. This is the true test of any instrument to see if it's gig ready. Of course, we've got 2 guitars today, so we'll be doing an A-B comparison. So we'll be on the bridge pickup for the feedback test. Let's start off with that back pickup. Nice harmonic feedback, not too overpowering. Now let's do the same with the Andy Hicks. So definitely a lot more high-end feedback. That makes sense. The 60s Strat's gonna have slightly brighter pickups. Play a chord and see how that's. Nice. That's very, very harmonic. That's definitely going to cut through a mix, but it doesn't really feed back as much when you're playing single note stuff, whereas the spruce one definitely did. Now let's have a little jam with both guitars. Now let's hear it in the mix. So guitarists, that is the end of the gig test. Let me know in the comment section below, which guitar did you prefer the sound of? I have to say I prefer the playability of this Andy Hicks, but I actually preferred the tone of the Spruce Strat, especially for in the mix. Now let's move on to the next part of the video. So guitarists, it's the end of another Squealing Pig Guitars video. I really hope you've enjoyed this one, the Battle of the Builders. If you'd like to see us put more custom shop instruments head to head, then make sure to leave a like on this video. Also make sure to hit the hype points button. This is a new feature that YouTube's introduced and it really helps increase the engagement on our videos, so make sure to hit that. Also let me know in the comment section below which guitar did you prefer from today's episode. Let me know all your thoughts. And finally, if you're new to Squealing Pig Guitars, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers and we could do with your help. So make sure to hit the subscribe button to join the SPG crew. So let's get to the conclusion of this video. Which guitar was the winner for me? So personally, for these two guitars, I would love to blend the specs that they have. I prefer the way that the Irish Pub Green guitar looks and the way that it feels. However, I prefer the sound of the Spruce Strat. So in my opinion, sound is the most important factor with any guitar, and then it's the feel and then it's the look. So I guess today the winner is the Dale Wilson Spruce, as I've just love the tone of it. It was the best guitar by far in terms of sound. However, the 60s definitely sounded awesome as well. It was just a little bit too bright for me, but if I was able to taper the tone, then maybe I would prefer that sound. But obviously in these videos, we have to keep the setup the exact same to keep it even and fair. However, I much prefer the Irish Pub Green finish, and I tend to go for 60s Strats if I'm picking a Strat. But the Dale Wilson just won by a couple of points today. If I had to give a rating for both of these guitars, the Dale Wilson would receive an 8.9 out of 10, and the Irish Pub Green Andy Hicks would receive an 8.5 out of 10. If you'd like to check out my ratings for all the other guitar reviews I've done on the channel, then make sure to hit the squeal board link down below. But as always guys, thank you so much for checking out this Squealing Pig Guitars video, and also a big thank you to Daniel who brought these guitars in for us to demo today. He has an awesome guitar collection and he's been a big supporter of Squealing Pig for a long time. So thank you, mate. If you'd like to see your guitars featured on the channel at some point, then comment down below, let us know what you've got, and if you'd like to bring them in, I'm sure we can figure something out. But that is the end of today's video, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode. But until then, keep rocking, guys. I'll see you soon.